Hey guys, we're back with another trip recap on a recent 2-day that they had on the Legend.
Yeah, this one was a wide open night bite. We found a giant school. You can see it on the sonar and on the up and down here. Absolutely massive school that got under the boat and stuck with us for a little bit.
And here's a big boy coming over the rail.
Yeah, it was really good quality fish on this stop. Almost every fish we caught was over 100 pounds. We did catch a couple small ones in the beginning, like 30, 40 pounders, and then all of a sudden, guys started getting drags pulled out real fast.
So why does that happen, right? Like why do the bigger fish kind of show up later in the bite?
I don't know if it shows up later or if maybe the smaller fish are up higher in the school. So those are the first few bites that you get. But you can see those three guys in the bow. Their lines were way out on the surface, and that's what happens a lot when you are fighting these big fish.
I think a lot of people, know that that's indicative of a bigger fish, but kind of what's the reasoning behind that?
I'd say that's more because they're not feeling the drag quite as much. They're able to pull out whatever poundage you're putting against them a lot easier than a smaller fish that you're able to spiral right up to the surface. So they take that good big run, and it becomes more of a fight out on the surface where you can't use the rail for a while until they're up and down.
Yeah, you can see that guy in the last shot too. He was using a little bit of a longer rod too, not necessarily a rail rod for these big fish. That sounds like a tough night.
Yeah, that was a Phoenix rod with a Penn Fathom reel, but he was able to catch his personal best on it that night, so that was awesome.
That's great. Yeah, it looks like a lot of guys are, hooked up throughout this fight.
At one point, we had like 12 going that I counted. It was hard to film and run around and gaff and
Yeah.
make sure people didn't get in tangles and all that stuff. It was a crazy bite. This is more once it's settled in, and you can see this is one of the smaller fish, probably like a 40, 50 pounder right here. Um, on the line here, you can see those are all pyrosums. I get asked about this all the time when we're out fishing, what these pink things in the water are.
Yeah, they don't sting you, but they do tend to be in the area where some big tuna are.
Yeah, we find them right by them in the same area all the time, so that's kind of crazy. You can see all the carnage on the deck, these big fish coming over the rail, crew having to walk them down to the stern and the gate here to lift some of these big boys up and over.
So, what was working for, the successful anglers on this trip?
I would say the main key to success on this trip was the ability to communicate with each other. Um, you know, there was a lot of opportunity for tangles, but everyone kind of talked and communicated. The crew got in there very well and helped move people along so that there weren't too many casualties due to tangles and saw-offs. I think I only remember one fish that might have gotten sawed off.
Sounds like you had a pretty good group, and look at this beautiful fish coming over right now.
Yeah, you can see that fish was pretty darn tired by the end of the fight, just like this one right here. And it's coming in sideways, getting towed in a little bit. So when that happens, a lot of the time it's a strange fight, like we've talked about, but the fish is pretty much dead when it gets gaffed.
You can see that this rod actually almost gets broken right there. Ooh, and then Matt kinda comes to the rescue and puts it in free spool.
Yeah, free spool when your fish gets gaffed. This was actually a fish that we saved. It got underneath the boat and we spliced it to our boat rod there and we were able to land it still.
There you go, another big lunker coming over too.
Yeah, and these fish are just kicking butt here. You can see the fatigue in some of these anglers as this fish gets to color, and that's where the fight really kicks in sometimes.
Right, we talked about that before. Don't, give up or take it easy at the end. So that's really when you need to push through and make sure that you're managing the fish as
Yeah,
best as you
just
can.
because you see a fish doesn't mean it's over.
Right.
In fact, it's probably where it's most difficult to fight the fish, and you got to keep that pressure on it because a lot of fish get lost right there at color. I can't tell you how many anglers have watched their personal best tuna swim away because it shook the hook or because it got under the boat or something like that last second at color.
Yeah, you know how many times people say, "Oh, I lost it right at gaff," right?
Yeah, all the time. So, I mean, you got to keep on fighting all the way through the gaff shot. And another beautiful fish coming through the gate right here.